Too kind. Thank you so much. We are just so excited to be back here at the Nuart Theater because it was almost 10 years ago today that we launched Bubba Hotep right here in this theater. So excited. Thank you all for supporting independent film because it's never been harder. I'd like to bring out a couple of my partners in crime in the making of this film. So let me start. We actually have the tall man in the house from Phantasm. He played Father Sheldon, Mr. Angus Scrim. Did everyone see the LA Times article on this today? Quite wonderful.
Well, it's a thrill to see so many faces tonight. Thank you so much for coming.
All right. And also in the house we have the terrific actor who played Abe Sapien, and was in Pan's Labyrinth and many other films, Mr. Doug Jones.
Hi, thank you for that standing ovation, you. Say a couple of words. Like, I have no idea how I got into this mess, but this man right here. I was very happy to join this insanity when I got a phone call. We met up in Seattle, the Crypticon horror fan convention up there. John and I had adjacent tables a few years ago, and the next year after, we of course we ended that convention saying we got to work together sometime. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. As you do. A year later, the call came, this role of Roger North in John. I had never read the books. I had no idea what this was about. And I didn't, after I read the script either. So you have to see it. You kind of do. So I had so much fun playing him. He was quirky, and I didn't have to wear rubber on my face. So thank you, Don Prospero.
You're very well. So lucky to have it. And the heart and the soul of the film are two young actors that play the leads of Dave and John, Mr. Chase Williamson.
It's Chase!
Chase. Chase. Straight out of USC. And straight out of the Naval Academy, Mr. Rob Mays, who played John, who died at the end, I think. Rob, you have some fans there, I think. So, yeah. So, interesting story is the Chase had just graduated from USC Drama School and came into our audition. I think it was his second audition. And this, he was perfect for the role. I just cast him on the spot. But the downside of it was his you know what? Let me forget. We have another guest here who I've introduced, and then I'll come back to Chase's story. The meat monster is in the house. Mr. Ches Gagliardoni. Come on down, Ches. Are there any other actors out there that I missed? Okay, I think this is it. At any rate, we cast Chase in the role. He was never in a movie or a TV show or nothing. Well, some stage stuff he'd done. And finds himself, his first day of shooting, 8 pages of dialogue with Paul Giamatti. So, Chase, how did you do that?
I don't. You know when you're like really terrified of something to the point where it just doesn't seem real, so you're not terrified of it anymore? It's kind of like that. And it was sort of just like I felt like, you know, I went to 4 years of acting school or whatever, so to get a chance to actually put what I learned over those 4 years into practice on something that I loved as much as this script that just appeals to my sensibilities as much as this did was a really rare stroke of luck. And to work with all these people, I mean, it's uncommon that you work with a whole huge group It was great.
Did very well. Don't let it go to your head. Rob, so you were given this role of John. Tell me, what did you think?
This is really, it's a real dream role. There's just so much craziness in it, and just so much to do, you know. Does that make sense? I think I made sense, right? Yeah, I know, it was super crazy. There was so much to do, and I found the script to be so funny. And, you know, I just thought that there was something, you know, as Don and I had discussed, so boyish about him that it was just a lot of fun to kind of just be a, you know, a little kid again.
Very nice. And, anybody out there get a chance to read the book that the movie's based on? Great. And those of you who, if you like the movie, I highly recommend you go into the book because there's a lot that we left out, quite a bit. And also David Wong, a terrific young writer, has just actually written a sequel to this book. And the title is, This Book is Full of Spiders. Seriously, do not touch it. That is the book, so check that one out. So Angus, tell us about how you came to this role.
I think I sent in my photo resume, didn't I? No, you might have got a script to me somehow, and the role was pungent and funny and offbeat, and it marked my breakthrough in the movies because it was the first time I was ever required to say the F word and didn't turn down the role as a result. Don't get me wrong, those four-letter words are some of my favorite words in the language. But I loathe the way they have been emasculated through incessant overuse. They're gorgeous words. They should be saved for appropriate occasions.
And so Chaz here, this was his first on-screen role, performing the Meat Monster. So what was it like in that suit?
It was very hot in the suit. And I got a little dehydrated, and I had like two little holes that I had to breathe out of and see out of. They were about here. And I was just trying not to like step on the camera and, you know, basically just stay awake and not ruin anything. So, thank you. It was awesome.
Well done, Chaz. So, do we have time for
We have
questions?
time for just a few questions, so we'll throw it out to you, beginning right here.
Question for Angus. I drove all the way from Riverside, California. I was just wondering, do you have your autograph? This is a very rare Phantasm comic book that I have signed.
Oh, good Lord. Shall we do it now, or shall we wait till...
After.
That will be the first and only autograph of the evening. Unless you plan to share your booty with the stars, we're not going to help you subsidize your eBay sale.
I'm on the church until the day I die.
We've all signed people's rear ends and all sorts of things, so I see no reason we should decline.
Okay, actual questions right here. Was the film shot in Illinois? If so, where in Illinois was it shot?
No, we would have loved to shoot it in Illinois, but it was the bulk of it was shot in Paramount, and that's Paramount, California, not the Paramount Studio. Well, I'd also like to introduce, by the way, Michael Giolakis. Could you please stand up back there? That's our cinematographer. Did a fantastic job. Yeah, great job. And we rented a small warehouse down in Paramount, which is just north of Long Beach, and shot the film pretty much there. Although we did have access to this wonderful location, which is since unavailable, which is there's a abandoned youth prison out in Whittier, and we got the run of that place. There's about 85 acres, and we shot, there's a cathedral and a lot of different sets that we were able to shoot down there. So it was 100% in Southern California, except, well, no, in one scene out in Castaic where we shot all the scenes with the new folks. And we got out there, it was a piece of private property, and we were setting up one of the shots, and I'm not sure that you can do that in an open environment, but anyway, we had all the people, they were nude, and somebody yells, "School bus!" and there was a school bus coming down the road, so we got their robes on them, thank God. It was probably a felony. So, any other questions out there?
Okay, over here.
Hey, thanks for coming. What obstacles did you encounter making this and making Phantasm? What kind of problems came up, and how did you resolve them? How did you overcome them?
Well, look, when you're making a movie on a small budget, it's always like going to war. I mean, it's a fight in every battle to try to maximize the use of the money and make sure that it all ends up on the screen. So the real trick is to find actors who will roll with that, and if you don't quite have the dressing room situation or things like that, when you're dealing with very welcoming and wonderful actors who helped in that respect. There were a lot of challenges in terms of visual effects. Because, you know, some of the stuff we shot with old school rubber prosthetics like Jez was wearing, and then other sequences we did more digital thing, which helped quite a bit in terms of keeping costs down and those kind of things. But it was, both films were very difficult. One thing that's pretty exciting though was still, you know, 30 years after Phantasm, we're still using a lot of monofilament fishing line to get our effects. that entire meat assembly sequence was shot. We had, like Michael, me, and one or two other guys, we spent 2 days on that basement floor, and we had these intricate things where one person would pull the wieners and the other would pull the rack of ribs, and all this plastic meat laying around. And something I learned on Phantasm is monofilament, if you put a little Sharpie on it, it tends to just not even be visible. It really works well. For the aspiring filmmakers out there, remember that one.
This movie had so much character, and it was just flew in the face of a lot of established tropes in movies. I was what is your favorite thing that makes this movie stand out to you as opposed to the other things that maybe be considered remotely close to this genre?
Well, I think I'm going to pass this along to everybody because they'll each have a different opinion on that. For me, it's the sequence that precedes John's terrific line of, "That door cannot be opened." That was in the book. I read that scene and I thought, wow, if we could put that on film, we'll make something really different that no one's seen before. And I'm very proud of that scene. Doug, tell us which scene in the movie is.
To answer that, though, what interested me was you know, we've all, actors, there's a plethora of horror films out there with lots of gories, lots of monsters, lots of creepy crawly things. Never do you see this much humor and this much innocence all combined into that kind of horror genre. And what I loved about playing Roger North was his innocence. He was informative, and he was a conduit to getting them from one dimension to the other, kind of a doorkeeper. But he had this childlike wonder about, like, what? I've been watching you, and oh my gosh! And that really, really is what drew me to it. So thank you.
I think my favorite part is when Glenn Turman runs from his cop car into the building, into the trailer, and he goes, "Stay back, Steve!"
Yeah, he has a lot of hidden gems. Like when he's like, "We got Vinny doing CPR on him. Vinny's a lifeguard." I love that. I don't know. I think what I loved about it when I read it is that it just has like it's why it appealed so much to me. It just has such a weird sense of humor about it that's so hard to pin down, and I feel like I have that sort of sense of humor too. So to find this and then find that it was this book that already had a huge fan base of people, I was like, how have I been missing out on this? Like, I can't believe this exists, because it just speaks to me, you know? So, I don't know, I like it a lot.
And this, there are so many. I love Chase's sustained bewilderment when he comes out of the police department. out to the point where he obediently buys the hot dog. I think he's brilliant in that, as in virtually everything else. And Rob's two best scenes for me, or two that I just love, are when he's sitting in the restaurant and says, the whole world is mine, with this devilish look of inevitability on his face. And then the other scene where in the beginning of the picture, he and Chase are in his apartment, and he says, and the phone rings, and Chase talks to Rob on the other end. And Rob sits over there and just looks gleeful and says, that was me. That was me, wasn't it? But everyone, this is one of the greatest casts I've ever been a part of. Doug is marvelous, Glenn Turman is marvelous, Clancy Brown is wonderful, everybody's terrific.
Chaz, how about you?
Catherine kind of took my favorite scenes, but I'm going to say the feel of the movie is so outside of something that would come out of a studio and something that's, been focus grouped to death. And it's just it's not afraid to be weird, and let you ask questions and make you laugh.
Okay, one last question. Let's make it a good one. Here.
Will there be a sequel?
Anybody want to be in the sequel? Okay. Well, the actors would like to be in it, but I'm going to have to throw it back to you. If you could come and see it 3 more times in the theater and buy 4 copies of the DVD, and everyone else does that, I guarantee we'll make a sequel. Thank you. Thank you all so much. If anybody wants anything autographed, we'll walk out onto the street and meet you out there. Thank you so much.